And we're live. Okay, so welcome to my latest rant, and my special guest stars today are Pyrostrata
What's up?
and Thundercracker.
Horns up, motherfuckers.
And today our topic is quality control in toys. And I do not expect us to stay on topic at all because that seems to be an impossibility here, but that's okay. So I'm going to start off with probably the most infamous quality control issue in the entirety of Transformers fandom, gold plastic syndrome. Now, gold plastic syndrome has always been fascinating to me because way back when they first started doing it, I can kind of forgive them for the first time they did it, fucking it up because they didn't realize what they were doing, kind of. But for it to keep happening, because it happened all the way from some G1 stuff, mostly G2 stuff, all the way up to
Universe.
all the way up to Universe, and like some of the most infamous stuff is like Black Zarak, who is not cheap, and people would get him broken in the box. You know, the gold plastic crumbled while he was in transport, and then like the Beast Wars stuff, Mutant Soundwave. He was all gold plastic, and if you so much as breathed on that motherfucker, he'd disintegrate. So, and then there's the modern version of gold plastic syndrome, where like Masterpiece Gold, Blingatron, he gets, I think they call it cosmic rust, where he tarnishes really easily.
Well, that's just not gold plastic syndrome. That's just Masterpiece syndrome. Yeah. I have the original Masterpiece Megatron, and all the metal on him gets cosmic rust.
Well, see, that brings up another issue. I mean, it's okay. So the Masterpieces are supposed to be the penultimate toys, correct? They're the ultimate collector's piece. So why is something as simple as them oxidizing such a huge issue?
Good question.
Well, it has to do with the quality of the plastic that's used in them. And apparently the Masterpiece figures, while sometimes being ostensibly the penultimate toy, are not necessarily the ingredients used to make them are not necessarily the ultimate toy. Like, for instance, I have the first Masterpiece Optimus Prime.
Right.
And I've transformed it maybe twice, and the joints are loose as fuck.
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. And not only the joints loose as fuck, but and they can be put right back on, but the feet come off really easy. So, and I only paid, I think I think it was $100 for that when it came out originally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the original Masterpiece Optimus Prime as well, and well, I got the Hasbro version, I think the 20th anniversary version.
Yeah.
And yeah, he suffers the same issues, extremely floppy joints. I don't quite think that they had quite mastered the size versus the content of plastic and metal at the time to work that out. So okay, I get it, but
when it's the early stuff, it's forgivable because they, for whatever reason, didn't foresee it coming. But the fact that it keeps happening is what irritates me. They know there's the issue and they just fucking ignore it.
Right. Well, I want to go ahead and take a wild stab in the dark that manufacturing facilities for Hasbro are located in China.
They used to be, yes.
I think they're in Vietnam now.
They're in Vietnam now.
So not exactly a step up in quality. Now, having been a actual quality manager for about a decade and a half, I can, comment a little bit intelligently on quality control differences in the East versus the West, right? In the United States and the European Union, there are things called 5 Whys, And there are things called root cause analysis and corrective actions, right?
Right.
Where if you get a complaint from a customer and they say, hey, this is going wrong with your product, and if it is in fact the product's fault and not the customer using it incorrectly, you are supposed to do a root cause analysis and a corrective action, right? Now, the corrective action can't just be, something, like, I don't know, it can't just be a Band-Aid. It can't just be, hey, train the guys to pay attention to what the fuck they're doing, right? It has to be something more systemic. So it has to be, something that will actually resolve the problem. Now, that's what we do in the United States, Canada, and European Union, right? In China, I happen to know that what they do for corrective actions and or quality control is if something goes wrong, they just throw more human suffering at it until it's fixed, right? So if say for instance, toys are getting out that have, like, I don't know, the head screwed on backwards, they'll just throw 3 more quality control people at it because it's a lot less expensive for them to, pay slave wages than it is for them to fix machines or change recipes. So I don't know what that has any bearing on this, but my guess is the reason why the things keep recurring is that either the actual factories, and it's also a hard thing when you have third parties, right? Like Hasbro is kind of a middleman between the factory in either China or Vietnam and, us here complaining, right?
Right.
And also you have the fact that we're going from English to Japanese to Vietnamese, right? So maybe like that might have a little bit to do with it, but I agree with you that there's no excuse. When I was working for a steel company, we asked them to make, because it was actually cheaper at the time to bring imported steel over and sell it in the United States than it was to have U.S. made steel on the west coast. So we asked them to copy our logo, right? Like the way we set up our packaging. We asked them to copy it, and it took them about 100 tries, but they finally eventually got it right. So I guess my overarching point in this giant monologue here is that I think maybe the problem might be is it's not getting communicated to the people who can fix it properly.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there's probably some plant engineer in Vietnam that either doesn't know fully what the problem is or it has never been brought up to him.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it has a lot to do with that properly relaying the information from company to factory.
Right. And see, that's the thing too, is like what I had to deal with a lot of times is our sales force had zero idea what the fuck they were selling. They just loved to cash the checks,
right?
And take the commissions, right? So when a customer said, "Hey, this specific problem is going wrong," they had no fucking clue how to tell us at the factory what that was going wrong, unless it was like something really common. So if it's something like so particular as, for instance, the gold plastic syndrome, I mean, maybe it's a matter of, although, god damn, I mean, it's been so long. You figure by now, at least they'd be able to fucking figure it out. That that nobody has told the engineers and or plant people at the factory, exactly what the problem is.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe that's the case. I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
No, that sounds reasonable to me. But it's funny. It's funny that you said that they're a third party, because that made me think. What's the third party Megatron? Apollyon.
Apollyon, yeah.
Yeah, he had the initial issue with the shoulder, and they got like 8 complaints and sent out an additional piece to repair it, right?
Right.
Actually, by the time he was set for retail release, they had enclosed the fix in all of their products.
Yeah, so how fucked up is that a third-party company can resolve a quality control issue that quickly, but a multi-billion-dollar international company like Hasbro and Takara can't?
Here's the thing about that, though. Sometimes the smaller companies have less bureaucracy to deal with. So they can kind of roll with the punches a little bit better, you know what I mean?
All right.
It's just like, if you complain to your local government about your road being fucked up versus complaining to the federal government, you know what I mean?
Well, my local road is still fucked up, but yeah.
Mine too. It looks like a fucking mortar attack.
On the other hand, I'm very good at rapid responses to avoid potholes, so you know.
Yeah. And, you know, it'll train you that way.
But yeah, so like so that's my problem with gold plastic syndrome is that it's so persistent. It's I hate to use this term, but it's like the AIDS of Transformers quality. It just won't fucking go away.
Yeah, I mean, if I see a product that contains an overabundance of gold plastic, I won't buy it.
Yeah, it might break when you pick it up to put it in your shopping cart.
Right. Why am I going to spend $20, $30, $40, $50 on a product that I know is not going to withstand the test of time?
Yeah, I got a G1 Skyhammer a long time ago.
Right.
And the vehicle part of it just like disintegrates, right? And I got that like a long time ago, right? And then more recently, I got one of those Star Wars crossover toys, right?
Oh yeah, where like the Death Star turns into Darth Vader.
Right, and this was Han Solo and Chewbacca, right?
Yeah.
And basically what happened was after about the third transformation, the legs just snapped entirely off because of gold plastic syndrome.
Outstanding.
Yeah, and it was the Chewbacca, which was my favorite part of it, and just the leg just basically just totally off at the same time.
Awesome.
It was great. So and there was probably 2 decades between me purchasing those two items.
Nice. And then there's I forget the proper name for it, but they basically laminate the piece in like a gold sheen. You know what I'm talking about?
The laminating, you mean the ones that get like bubbles that burst?
Yeah, like Beast Wars Rampage had it on his siding that was silver.
Yeah, quite a few Beast Wars had that issue where they would like spray some sort of like metallic paint on them, and
it would just
the paint blisters. Yeah, it blisters, and then you touch it. I had a Beast Wars Rat Trap. It was the Fox Kids version.
Ah, okay.
And yeah, right out of the box, I had a bubble about the size of a dime, and I touched it, and the paint just disintegrated.
I gotta love that.
I had this big hole.
That's what gets me about it, where I say, you know, gold plastic syndrome is AIDS. We think we've overcome it, and now it mutates, and there's a new version. So they got rid of using the gold plastic, and they just painted it gold and silver and chrome, and it just was just as shitty. The toy doesn't disintegrate, but once that paint starts peeling off, it looks just as shitty.
Right.
So
I mean, there's also different grades of plastic, you know.
Yeah, I know. I get that. You know, it depends on what the source material is. Did they get it from China or Russia? All that shit.
Right. Because I mean, even like the G1 Jetfire, right? Yeah. Some of those would yellow because of the plastic that they used, and some of them wouldn't. Like I have 2 examples, and one looks like somebody just like used it as a bong for about 10 years, and the other is like totally white.
Yeah, I'm actually on my second G1 Snapdragon, and my first one turned like it looked like 80-year-old smoker's teeth.
Right. That's
and my second one is actually you know, it's a bit banged up, but its white parts are still mostly white. So yeah, it's weird. You know, it depends on the lot and all that stuff, but that's just annoying. Yeah, you guys got anything else to add for gold plastic syndrome?
Nope.
Okay, moving on. So the next quality control issue I want to talk about is quality control issue that comes with like one line from a series versus another. And I think a good example of this was Combiner Wars and Titan's Return. Because like phase 1 of Combiner Wars had a couple of quality control issues. Menassor's hips were an issue. There was a lot of loose joint issues with the repaints that they used for the Optimus Prime Combiner. But then they seemed to fix a lot of those issues with Wave 2, but then Wave 3 came out and it was just shit. And then we're seeing kind of the same thing with Titan's Returns. A lot of the Phase 1 Titan's Return stuff had loose joint issues. A good example of that is Scourge, you know, fresh out of the box, and literally every single joint on the first one that I got was completely loose. No ratchet strength, no ball strength, nothing. And then Phase 2, so far everything I've gotten from Phase 2 has been rock solid. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking like, all right, well, Phase 3 is going to be just shit then.
I don't quite understand how that works, but yeah. I have several Titans Returns toys with severe joint issues.
Yeah.
Skull Smasher, I could hold him by his chest in the air and move him, and his legs would just like flop around. I had
he's ragdoll.
Yeah. I had to pull his legs off and treat the ball joints with clear nail polish just to tighten that up.
Yeah, same here.
It's like, really? Right out the box? I got to take it apart and fix it?
And it's not even from figure to figure, because I have a hard head who's rock solid. I love him. And then I've got a hard head who the clamp that connects the Titan Master to the torso is in the box. It was fucked up. So his head, every head that he had that I put on him is completely loose.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, for the longest time, Hasbro's quality control would be kind of and Takara's would be spot on. I mean, yeah, you'd pay a lot more for Takara products, but you knew that you were going to get good stuff.
Yeah.
And then came my experience with the Henki Seekers. The first wave of Henki Seekers had like Hasbro style quality control nightmares. And paying, you know, to have those shipped to the United States, that was a little disappointing when I had to spend, you know, extra time and effort to take these $50, $60 toys apart and fix them myself. Yeah, that hurt a lot.
Yeah.
It put me off the Henki line, and I heard a lot of people had the same exact problems. Takara did fix it, however, with subsequent production of those particular figures. But yeah, it was really disappointing to see that type of shit happen on Takara products. And other people have said recently that it's only gotten worse.
I have about a dozen 10K, and I've had zero problem with any of them.
Did you get the first wave of
Yep.
Henki Seekers? Did you have problem keeping Thundercracker's guns attached to his arm?
Not really, no.
Are you sure you got first wave?
I'm
Because
positive.
everybody I know that got first wave had to fix the fact that the peg on the guns was too small for the port on the arm.
No. It was no.
Well,
Perfect.
You suck.
Hey, what can I say? Maybe they fucking knew who they were sending it to. That's all I gotta say.
Because Seeker.
Exactly. There you go. I mean, like I said, I thought I was going to say, when you were saying all this, I'm like, man, I've never had a single problem with any of those. I mean, they've always been like, now granted, I don't fuck with them that much. I mean, I've maybe transformed them all once, but I mean, they've never had any problems with those.
Oh, this was an issue right out the package.
Yeah, and I've never had that issue.
Then you lucked out. You're the only one I've heard that has not had issues with that.
It's probably because I'm so awesome.
Oh, whatever.
I'm just saying.
But it got progressively worse with Takara products.
And you're right. You would think that you pay a little bit more for Takara, it would be nicer.
Right. But like,
so it also like the thing that I understand that like manufacturing companies, since I've worked in manufacturing, I understand that like problems are going to happen, right? It's going to. You're going to have issues. How they respond to those issues is really how I judge a company. Because a lot of companies are like, yeah, fuck, I don't care. But then there are other companies who like take it like I'll give you for instance. One time I got a Propel Fitness water, and the lid was screwed on so tight, I had to use a set of channel locks to open it up. Obviously, that's probably screwed on too tight.
What?
Yeah. It just could not be opened. Could be open, and a lot of the guys were like, oh, you fucking pussy, I'll open it, and they couldn't open it, right? So, like I said, I had to use tools to open a bottle of water. So I called them up, and they said, hey, can you give me the little number on it, or their lot number? I give them their lot number, and they're like, yep, we did have problems with that lot. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and send you a couple of coupons for a couple of cases of water. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're a responsible company, and they want to keep their customer base happy.
They want to retain you as a customer, exactly. So, and just another one was Unilever. They make Axe deodorant, right?
Right.
I got this thing of Axe deodorant. Axe deodorant's fucking expensive, but it works really well, and I stink when I get out of the gym. So, I got this Axe deodorant. Opened up the lid to it, and it just crumbled. It was the white kind of deodorant, right? Just crumbled. Called them up. Sure enough, they said, well, I'm sorry you had that experience. We're going to send you a couple coupons for a couple free products. And they took it into so that, like I said, I don't mean to like shit on. Hey, I understand people have problems with things, but manufacturing, you're going to have problems. You can't have everything perfect.
Yeah. I get that, but when like your entire product line is riddled with issues.
Oh, right. Then it's time for an apology, maybe a recall, and then maybe some coupons for people to get some better stuff.
Yeah, because like I was saying with like the third wave of Combiner Wars, where like you started seeing like I think the only original, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the only actual original mold that came out with third wave was fuck, I don't think any originals came out. I think they were all repaints in third wave. Were they?
Oh, I have no idea.
Hey, I have a theory. Maybe this has something to do with it. Maybe third wave Combiner Wars is trying to be as useless as third wave feminism.
I had to bite down to keep myself from laughing.
I mean, think about it. Think about how pointless third wave feminism is. And third wave Combiner Wars. There you go. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong. I used to think feminism was good when it was about, hey, let's have women have equal rights.
Yeah, equal rights, equal pay.
You're making my brain hurt.
Now they've kind of gone off the fucking deep end. And maybe third wave Combiner Wars is trying to emulate that.
Jesus Christ.
That is awful.
Hey, Ledoux's not here, so I'll say it. I literally can't even. But no, like, so for the third wave, all they were glorified repaints and recos, and like they put different heads on stuff, and like a good example of this was the Combiner Wars Wheeljack, and his head didn't even properly fit because of his, you know, ear flashlight things. So his head was really tight in the space provided. I forget which body he was put on. But the paint job was just shit. I mean, it was white, shitty plastic. They just sort of painted a bumper on, and then they painted the head, and it just looked crappy. And then like Hound was a slight recolor of Swindle, and again, all they did was change the head and paint it green.
No, wasn't I'm looking here at Combiner Wars Wave 3. Didn't Hotspot and Cyclonus come out in Wave 3?
I thought Cyclonus was Wave 1 or 2.
Yeah, it says Combiner Wars Voyager Wave 3, Hotspot and Cyclonus. Maybe I'm high, but I'm definitely reading that.
Well, maybe I have the waves wrong.
Okay.
When it's not just a singular line of toys.
Totally understandable.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm like, well, what the fuck? No, because there's too many waves.
Right. Yeah, I could be wrong. I could be wrong too.
See, I was lumping a bunch of them together because it goes all the way to Wave 6. Holy shit!
Didn't they come to that Rattler? Didn't they release that the Cobra Rattler?
Yeah, it was a repaint.
Viper?
Yeah, it was. It was called Viper, and it was a repaint of
Power Glide.
Got to be Power Glide.
Yeah, it was Power Glide.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing about that. For some, yeah, they repainted, and this is what pisses me off about that. Talk about quality control. The Cobra Rattler has 3 engines, 1 on each wing, and then 1 in the back. This this Transformers version of the Cobra Rattler it looks just like an A10, just 2 in the back.
Huh.
So that's wrong. Fuck that thing. That's all I gotta say, and that's what you're talking about when you just repaint something. I understand why they do it. Obviously, is to save money on remaking a mold, right?
Right, and I get that, but at the same time, when you release, like, I love the Combaticons, the Combiner Wars Combaticons, because Bruticus is my favorite Gestalt, and I was, for the most part, very pleased with it. I could even forgive them for not making the initial American release, having Blastoff be a fighter jet, because that actually better fits Bruticus's theme. However, for them to take the Swindle mold, which I really, really liked, I thought that was neat having Swindle be in proportion to the other limbs. I hate that they took that and literally all they did to make Hound was just swap the head out and paint it green.
Paint it green, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not saving money. That's just being lazy.
Yeah, you're right.
Like they couldn't change like the flap for the front to have at least like his winch thing look a little detail on there for that.
Yeah,
no.
what's it? Swindle, like it I mean, Hound's a Willie's Jeep, right?
Right.
Swindle's a different kind of Jeep, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like an up-armored something. He's some kind of combat Jeep. I can't remember what it was, the actual name was. I'm going to go look it up right now.
Yeah, have you ever, speaking of proportion in Bruticus, have you ever seen like hey, this is actual scale Bruticus?
Yeah,
where like Blastoff is like gigantic.
Yeah, he's kind of balancing himself on Brawl because...
yeah. I love that picture. It makes me laugh until I stop laughing.
Yeah, Pyro, I can hear you.
Okay.
That's weird because I couldn't hear her when she just did that. Are you guys talking shit?
No.
Totally.
I'm just joking. Oh, by the way, I logged out of Facebook and back into Facebook, and now everything's working perfectly.
Weird.
It is weird.
You're in the
Probably-
presence of awesome, so of course.
Probably somehow Trump's fault.
Yeah, well, no, Russia hacked Facebook.
Ah, that's probably what it was. Yes.
Through the microwave.
Yeah, through Kellyanne's microwave.
So I don't know if you guys follow too much of Thoughts with Thundercracker, but somebody asked me about this character in the Flash TV show, and what the fuck was its name? Savitar in the Flash, right?
Right.
So I looked this thing up because he says, "Hey, what is there something we should know about the villain Savitar in the CW's The Flash?" And I thought, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" And then I looked it up and I realized what he's talking about because it looks identical to a Bayformer.
Oh my God, it does.
Yeah, I mean it could be a Bayformer.
I just looked it up. It totally does.
So that's definitely what the guy was on about.
It looks like crushed tinfoil with lighting behind it.
So Bayformer, exactly. Yes. There you go.
All right. Anyway, back onto quality control.
Quality control, yes.
And I just looked it up. Swindle's original Jeep mode was an XR311 prototype assault vehicle.
Ah. So not a Willys Jeep.
No. But yeah, so like like you and I were both saying, I totally get saving money by doing remolds and recolors of other successful molds and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a certain point where there's a cutoff where I'm just like, this isn't even being lazy. This is literally just giving your fans and customers the finger.
Right.
And I think nothing in Combiner Wars can top Leo Kaiser.
Well, the problem that you run into though with repaints and recolors is mold degradation.
Yeah,
definitely.
And in some molds, it happens almost immediately.
Like Hound.
Yeah.
Whoa! I'm just I just looked up Leo Kaiser. Is it not? Does he just have 2 brawls for feet?
Basically, yeah.
Sorry, Beth. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But yeah, you see it in some molds, you know, after like the 3rd or 4th repaint, but some happen immediately.
Yep.
And I don't quite understand why. Are they making molds that fragile these days? Or is it just, I don't know.
You figure with the more advanced technology we have nowadays, molds would be cheaper to make and be better quality.
You would think.
But it seems the exact opposite.
I mean, with the advent of like 3D printers and whatnot, why
does
it take practically an act of God to
what do you want
make
me to
a new mold?
Make a new mold? Okay.
It's because the 3D printer was built in China and hacked by Russia.
There you go.
Okay.
And
that makes so much sense.
And their microwaves were built in Mexico.
There you go. So tagging on to what Beth was saying there, I happen to be a collector of G.I. Joe as well, a little bit, right?
Right.
And I have the original Real American Hero Cobra Moray. And like, if you look at that toy, it is so quality done. Like the details they have in the actual mold are just amazing. Like the more you look, it's like, I don't know how you explain it. When you look at it from far away, it just looks like red. But then once you get close up to it, you can start to see all these little details on it, right? And then I got the 25th anniversary one, and it's supposed to be the same thing, but they basically just omitted like half the detail.
Okay, you're talking about the boat, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, that does look really good.
Yeah, like I said, when you hold it in your hand and actually look at it, it looks amazing. So.
I like the stealth moray too. Have you seen that one?
Yep.
That looks neat.
And that's what G.I. Joe's big things they like to do is they'll, well, Transformers too, is they like to repaint things a bunch of different ways, and they call it a different toy and sell it to you again.
Yeah.
So
That's typical, toy company MO. That's what they do.
But I mean, like G.I. Joe was really notorious for it. Like when they did the whole Tiger Force thing, it was basically they resold their entire line with stripes.
Yep.
So.
And it's not just toy companies that do that. I mean, look at shoe companies.
No,
Yeah.
They sell a red it's a red shoe with a white sole, and then there's a black version with a gray sole. Totally different shoe.
Oh, so speaking of shoes, and I just want to say this really quick. Whoever came up with the shoes that can order pizza should just be punched in the head. Seriously, humanity doesn't fucking need that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I heard about that.
But pizza.
Hunger? No. Don't encourage them.
Okay.
Because like I thought it was bad enough when they had that thing that would just deposit food directly in your stomach for gamers, so they didn't have to get up from gaming. That's no shit. That's a real thing. And so I put that on my page one time, and people were like, "Well, you fucking piece of shit. What if there's a big prize, and if they get up to get a cheeseburger, they lose their big prize?" I'm like, I don't think any prize would be worth surgically altering my stomach to get food pumped in it. Fuck.
Do you remember the Nintendo Kirby commercial where the dude just kept eating and he got fatter and fatter and fatter until he exploded?
I do remember that.
That was fantastic.
Agreed.
That popped up into my head when you were talking about that.
So quality control.
Yeah, quality control. So the Titans Combiner Wars kind of ended on a sour note because of how low the quality was getting, and because they were all recos and remolds and whatnot, it's they downgraded and downgraded and downgraded until it was just shit. And then Titans Return comes out, and there's mostly just joint quality issues. They're loose in package or whatnot. And then with the new wave, like Six Shot, I fucking love my Six Shot. Turn Six Shot. It's so awesome.
Do you love the upside down submarine version?
Yes, he's the upside down submarine. Yes.
I want that so bad.
Somebody needs to call Hasbro and Takara and warn them that if somebody holds that submarine upside down, it looks vaguely like a futuristic gun.
No!
And so they need to paint the whole thing orange.
There you go.
The whole thing. It's the only safe way to do that.
No.
Yes.
No.
They already did it to Astro Train.
Oh, God.
So.
Oh, now there's a quality control issue.
Yeah, no shit.
When that mold first came out with the pre-paint of Sentinel Prime, it was garbage. Every person I talked to said it's crap. And then when you first saw it, you're like, why is that orange? That should be Astro Train. Well, when they brought Astro Train out, they actually addressed every single issue and fixed it in the Astro Train version.
Yeah.
Could it be that they're prototyping molds now?
Because we're seeing pre-molds all over the fucking place with Titans Return.
Yeah.
We're seeing pre-molds.
They'll release something that is so obviously something else.
Yeah, like Octane Prime and Blitzatron.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can justify having them is if I treat them as independent characters.
Blitzatron.
Yeah, it's Blitzwing, but he's Megatron.
Yeah, it's Blitzwing cosplaying as Megatron.
Yeah. I will say this though, their head molds are really good.
I'll pretend I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, I'm actually not interested in that mold at all.
They're already shelf warmers where I'm at.
You know me and Megatrons. I'll buy any Megatron if it looks good, and that does not look good to me at all.
Nope. It's
I'm
pretty,
like, that is a skipper.
It's pretty fucked up, but it's got nothing on how fucked up Octane Prime is.
Oh,
Octane Prime has
Let
got
that one
so
be
many
that.
panel issues. It's not even funny. And his wing, both of them, their wings constantly pop off.
Ugh.
So yeah, they're
That's always useful.
pre-molding. They're sending the fucked up version out first to figure out exactly what's wrong with it. But
Yep.
no, you know what that is? You know what that is? They got that from video games because it used to be that you would like,
Fix the bugs.
yeah, you would try to be a beta tester for them, and it was like a big thing. You're like, hey, I'm beta testing this, and everyone would be like, oh, you lucky fuck. Now you pay for pre-access, and you pay them to be your beta testers, and that's what
Yep.
they're doing.
Yep. Yeah, they actually learned that from a few third-party companies, like the ones that made Apollyon. They sent out a pre-retail wave to 100 toy reviewers around the world and gave them 30 days to review it. And yeah, then they fixed the issues because everybody had the shoulder issue, and then they fixed it for the wider retail. So yeah, they're taking notes from third party.
But that's because they want to kill the third parties.
Oh, definitely, definitely. They're never going to though.
Yeah,
No, they're not.
you know,
But
like
I
it was
love
like
the
with
fact.
It was
I
like
love-
with the go ahead. Sorry.
I love the fact though that recently it has appeared that Hasbro and Takara are trolling the third parties
Yeah, like with Masterpiece Shockwave.
with Masterpiece Shockwave. What was
The new Megatron has different mechanics, but he looks
Yeah,
very much like Apollyon.
the new Masterpiece Megatron looks scarily like Apollyon. But
And we can never get rid of third party figures because just for the simple fact of their names. I love their names.
some of them are like, what?
I love seeing Chinese knockoffs of third parties because the names are just terrific.
Knockoffs of knockoffs.
Yeah,
You're-
knockoffs of glorified knockoffs. They're so great.
You remember when? I saw a recent blue Cosmos that was like that. And you remember when, like, speaking of like clever names, remember when porn used to have clever names?
Oh God.
You know, like the Sperminator and Ally McSqueal and the Three Splooges, stuff like that, right?
I can neither confirm nor deny my knowledge of this.
I'm just saying that, like, they used to actually put some thought and effort into it, right? The other day I was looking through my on-demand, and like I saw over on the adult version, they were like, this is what they had. Not Ghostbusters. Not The Green Mile. Like, what the what? You just put not in front of a regular movie name and to do a parody of it? That's lame. I'm sorry.
Well, that's like you look at the 1-star review independent movies on Netflix or whatever, and it's there's like Transmorphers. Have you seen that?
Oh God.
I've heard of it, yeah.
It's so terrible. It was like a train wreck. I couldn't stop watching it. I was like, oh my God.
You do know that there is a sequel to Transmorphers.
Oh,
I am
dear.
aware of it. I have not seen it.
It's just it's cinematic shit.
You know who I blame for this? The guys behind Sharknado.
Oh,
You know, I was about to mention Sharknado's on number 3 now.
I hate
I thought they were working on
Sharknado.
4.
Oh my God.
Okay, 3's out.
I thought they were working on 4 right now.
They probably are. Isn't that a sci-fi original?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a fan of The Walking Dead, so the sci-fi has like a Walking Dead ripoff series. I was like, I'll check this out. No. Just no. It's so awful.
If it says sci-fi original anything, it's guaranteed to be shit.
Yeah, and I knew that going in. I just, for some reason, like an Alzheimer's patient, forgot it. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll give him this one chance. And no.
Have you guys ever seen that sci-fi show Face Off?
Oh, where they make, where they like, they decorate people up like, fuck. What do I? Okay, artists will decorate models to look like various shit.
Yeah, like they'll make them into like Terminators and shit like that.
Yeah. I've seen that. Yes.
Yeah, you know how I know that's not a good show?
How's that?
The prize package includes a Fiat.
Yeah, anything that Charlie Sheen was on the commercial for can't be that great.
Don't get me wrong, some of the stuff they make is pretty neat looking.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's like any other reality show where it's not the people who are actually good at it continue, it's whoever the fans like because they draw viewers.
Yeah, or it's whoever puts drama into the show.
Yeah, like the
noticed
dude who's clean cut and looks completely normal actually makes the best shit, but he loses the first contest to the person with an 8-foot tall neon green hairdo.
Right. There's a show with who's that dude that was the guitarist for Red Hot Chili Peppers? Dave Nuggleberry or some shit like that.
Dave Navarro.
Dave Navarro. He has a show where he does like tattoo things, right?
Right.
And same idea. Like there's a guy that did amazing tattoos, just amazing tattoos, but he was like normal and didn't cause any drama, so he got kicked out.
That's
And like the chick who was semi good looking and was like fucked in the head, to put it mildly, she kept going on because she created all the drama.
right. Anyway, back onto quality control.
We got way off topic there.
So, but then you look at stuff like so you would think with how kind of kooky they look that all the Bayformer toys would be shitty. But I was just talking with Pyro about this the other day. My favorite Bayformer toy is Bludgeon.
Yes.
He actually looks good. He's solid, even with how weird his joints are.
You guys own Bayformers toys?
Only the good ones.
Do you guys own Bayformers toys?
I do.
Yeah, Bludgeon is an awesome toy, dude. I know you're a D1 purist, but Bludgeon is awesome.
Man.
He's the golden nugget inside the turd.
The golden peanut.
Yeah, he's that piece of corn that didn't get quite all the way digested, and you can still see it. But it's my point of it is like he's part of the, what was that called? No, he's not a true pretender. He looks like kind of like his pretender shell, where he's the orange samurai with the skull face, but he is a proper toy, Transformer toy. He turns into a green tank.
I'm gonna have to look this up. Is it the tank with like the teethy looking things on the front? Or is that Brawl?
No, I think that was Bone Crusher.
I think you're right.
I can't remember. Not to sound racist, but all the Bayformers look alike to me for the most part.
Yeah. Well, I don't collect toys.
They do. They do.
Let's see.
It's Revenge of the Fallen Bludgeon.
Yeah, and that's the biggest irony. He came from the biggest piece of shit that they produced.
That's the funny thing about the toys. Of all the movies, Revenge of the Fallen had some really good toys.
Wait a minute.
Especially in the Legends class line.
This looks exactly.
Did the Legends class. I got something like 30 or 40 Revenge of the Fallen Legends class toys.
This doesn't look stupid at all.
No.
Yeah,
How is this a Bayformer? It looks nothing like a Bayformer.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy about it? If you look at his legs, he's got, what did they call that, mech tech?
Yes.
Yeah, they had a gimmick called mech tech where you could like quote unquote see their inner workings. And the way it was done, you would think that it would lead to them having severe quality and joint issues.
Right.
It just makes him that much cooler because it fits with the whole skeleton motif.
Yes.
Yeah, his arms too look kind of spindly at the elbow joint.
And he's actually really well balanced. You can pose him really easily.
Huh. I'll be goddamn.
And
It is the only Bayformers toy that actually looks good on my chug shelf.
Was he in the movie?
No.
No.
Yeah, okay. I think that's where the confusion's coming from.
He was in a comic.
And the other gem in that shithole was Mindwipe.
Yeah.
That was a great toy.
Yeah.
He had there were two toys actually. There was Mindwipe, and there was Sky Shadow, which was a Legends class that transformed into like a little jet, and it actually fit on the front.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of that right now. Linked up like a Cobra Night Raven.
Yeah.
Although I'm looking at the robot mode of this. What's this show? What was the guy we're talking about here? Mindwipe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He looks a lot more Bayformers than the other one. That's for sure.
Yeah, but it's still a really good toy.
He's an F-117, I believe. Stealth fighter, right?
Yep.
Man.
Those were like my two favorites in the Bayformers, and then all the Legends from Revenge of the Fallen were amazing.
Yeah. What else was I gonna say here about the Revenge of the Fallen stuff?
It was good quality stuff.
Yeah, well, even and speaking of the Redcoats and whatnot, even like they did a recolor of that bludgeon for Bonsaitron, and it didn't have quality control issues. And they did a recolor partial remold for it to, and I'm sure Thundercrack will get a kick out of this, into a Megatron.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, they pulled the bludgeon head off and put a G1 Megatron head on it.
Oh my god.
And it looks awful.
Yeah.
But again, there was no quality control. While it looked goofy as fuck, it was still a solid toy.
Okay. A couple questions here about this Revenge, since we're talking about Revenge of the Fallen, right?
Right.
I'm looking at Demolisher.
Oh god.
And is that, or is that not, the most fucking retarded thing in the history of retarded things?
No.
You've got a face, and then there's a unicycle above the face, and a unicycle below the face, some boombox speakers for ears, and then, like, for arms, it has, like, shovels? What the fuck is that?
No, the ice cream truck is the worst.
Yeah. Well, with Demolisher, you punch the tree to get the wood.
And then, okay, and then there's, I'm looking at Sideswipe and Mudflap from Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah, the twins.
And why is Sideswipe, like, or no, this must be Sphere Sweep. What the fuck is Sphere Sweep? And why is he, like, tiger colored?
You're outside my realm of give a fuck.
That's,
I don't know.
well, you guys are telling me how great these toys are. I'm just trying to figure it out.
They're not all great.
No, like I said, there's the diamonds in the turd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Overall, it's still wadded up tinfoil.
I got you.
But there occasionally comes along a gem that you go, wait, why is that in that line?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you guys probably both have the Bumblebee masks, there, right?
No, but I do have an Optimus Prime one.
No.
Oh, from Bayformers Optimus Prime mask?
Yeah, I bought it when I was in AIT.
What do you use it for?
I like to fuck with people and say one shall stand, one shall fall.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
It does not at all sound like Peter Cullen.
That does not shock me. I have like a voice changer Darth Vader helmet, and no, it doesn't work at all.
Yeah, and you have to like, it's not sensitive at all. So quality control, we're actually technically still on topic here. It's not sensitive at all, so you have to like yell for it to pick up your voice to change it. So then they hear your voice and the augmented voice.
Exactly the same as the Darth Vader helmet. You kind of like your voice loudly, and then Darth Vader in the distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck those people too, whoever made that.
This is why I don't buy this crap.
You know what we should do one day? We should do a hangout with me with my Darth Vader mask on, you with your Optimus Prime mask on.
Jesus.
That would be so great.
I will so not be there. So not be there.
I'm pretty sure we'd both get frustrated within about 2 minutes and take them off.
If that long. So yeah,
Ugh.
good times.
Yeah, that no. Shit like that does not make my collection.
No. Speaking of, back to quality control, it seems like a lot of things that should be a box are now cards.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, like you remember back in the day when you get like a smoke screen, it was a box. It was a box that had the little the card back to it so it could hang up, but it was mostly a box. And you typically have those on shelves, right? And now, like, and I understand why they do it. It's so they can have like a whole, put those little 3-prong things into the bulletin board looking thing.
Yep.
And you put a whole shitload of those. But I mean, to me, it says something to the quality of, and it's also probably cheaper to manufacture the cards. But a lot of toys I see that definitely should be the box are on cards.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just a personal pet peeve of mine, but I don't like the way they do that. It seems like unless you're spending like $30 or above, it's going to be on a card.
I'm sorry, I don't pay attention to packaging, unless it's gorgeous, like Takara. Hasbro, I just rip it apart, take the toy out, throw the packaging away. I don't care. I'm a toy collector, not a package collector.
So you don't like leave the tags on your hats?
No. I wear them.
No, I also do this weird thing where I curl the bill.
Oh yeah, me too. I hate the flat brim hat thing. Makes me want to stab someone.
Yeah, because there's 2 reasons I wear a hat. One, it's required by the dress code of where I work at, or I'm wearing it to keep my head dry or the sun out of my eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever seen speaking of that, you ever seen the meme with the guy with his hat backwards and he's shielding his eyes with his hands?
Yes.
And the caption is, if only they had come up with something to help with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the flat brim either.
No.
And speaking of, have you ever seen the show Key and Peele?
Yeah, the skit where like at the end he's got like the Vietnamese sweatshop worker on his head.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yes.
Yep. Hilarious.
So yeah. Yeah.
Poor Vietnamese sweatshop workers.
Yeah, Smith brings us right back around to Hasbro utilizing Vietnamese sweatshop workers. I mean, what the F? I got a good thing for us to talk about. Have you guys seen yet the trailer for Bayformers 5?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you realize that in said trailer, some people that look like modern day emo Goonies go running from what looks like ED-209 from RoboCop? I mean, it even walks the same as ED-209. I hate to disparage ED-209 from RoboCop, but this thing looks like ED-209 from RoboCop. And then they go and hide into this big trash pile, and then guess what? The big fucking trash pile is a fucking Transformer. Yeah, I see that dog feels my pain.
Is this going to be like, perhaps, are they going to try to make a modern day Goonies out of a Transformers movie?
Well,
yeah, it seems that way because there's like 4 or 5 little kids.
I don't
and like the lead little kid. This is the review that I read actually says this. I forget what her name was, but it says her name is something of a Transformers whisperer.
What?
Yeah, I shit you not.
the
trash pile's name is Canopy.
I stand by what I said ages ago. I will never see another Bayhelm Transformers movie forever.
Yeah, me neither.
Never, ever, ever. The last one I saw was Revenge of the Fallen, and I have not seen a single one since.
And then there are some people that, like, for some reason, like, they're gluttons for punishment. And even though they don't really like Bayformers, they go and watch them anyway.
Me, right here.
I'm like, what the fuck?
I have a lot of friends who claim that they hate the Bayformers movies, yet they are the first in line at the theater to get tickets.
Oh, I'm not the first. I don't.
This boggles my mind. And here's the excuses that I get. It funds the toys.
Oh my god.
No, the toy purchases fund the toys.
If we didn't
Right.
have this large influx of cash, we would not have the good toys. And I'm like, there are no good toys in the Bayformers line to speak of. What are you talking about? Oh no, well, they fund everything.
Yeah, I'm thinking the toys fund the toys.
No, the toys fund themselves. Well, if you didn't have this large influx of cash from these movies, then you wouldn't have. And I'm like, you don't understand how basic economy works, do you?
Right. Supply and demand.
So, yeah, that's the number one excuse why these people are okay with their blatant hypocrisy.
My thing is this: sometimes they say, when they say it infuriatingly, it saved the franchise. I would have rather the franchise die, to be honest with you, right? Like say for instance, if they fucking redid the Princess Bride and made Wesley Channing Tatum, you know, it would be crap. It would be garbage. And I have no desire to see a fucking reboot of the Princess Bride. Zero. It's good where it is. Leave it alone.
I was really excited in 2007 when I saw that there was going to be a live action Transformers movie. I was honestly excited for this.
Me too.
When I saw Bay was doing it, I'm like,
Yeah, he did Armageddon, which wasn't a bad movie.
Okay, I'll give this a shot. I was right there. And I actually liked it for what it was. It was a live action summer blockbuster popcorn movie.
Titties, explosion, titties, explosion, titties, loud noises.
It worked as a summertime blockbuster. I was okay with it. Revenge of the Fallen is when I left the theater angry. And I swore that I'd never see another Bayhelm Transformers movie. This movie was terrible. Yeah, it pissed me off.
You must be hungry. You must be something of a sadomasochist, because it's just like you're like, man, IDW is bullshit. I wonder what the next issue is going to be like. You know what I mean?
I actually haven't read any for a while.
It's like you had sworn it off for a while too, and you're like, I want to get back into it a little bit.
I didn't say I'd get back into it. You made some comments about it, and I went and looked it up, and then I read the whole issue, and I was like, no!
It's like, why? Oh, man. I bet you're like one of those type of people who, like, you eat something, you're like, man, this is fucking awful. And then you just take another bite just to be sure that it was awful.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, that's funny.
It's why I go back to restaurants that piss me off.
You're like, man, that service was terrible. We'll go in there in 2 weeks.
Yeah, maybe in 2 weeks it'll be better.
That's great.
You know.
But no, it's to be perfectly honest, the reason that I go and see the movies is because I am first and foremost a Transformers fan.
That's understandable.
And as much as like I can't stand Kiss Players, but I actually read the first 2 books of it.
Oh.
Wow, that's dedication.
Yeah, that actually my eyes started bleeding at that point, and I was like, no, okay, Starscream possess a little Japanese.
Stop. We do not discuss Kiss Players here ever.
Although I can say this, all 3 of us watched all 10 episodes of Combiner Wars too.
Yes.
So there's no excuse for that, because that was
The
fucking
sacrifices we give for our fans.
Yeah, that was a shit show from beginning to end.
Oh, yeah. Quality control on that stank.
I still love the G1 redone Combiner Wars spread.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, somebody put that on there. It's like, hey, we got something good out of Combiner Wars. Check this out. Oh, I can kind of see that.
Call me crazy, but Megatron with an Australian accent works.
I can't really dispute that.
Yeah.
Now, have either of you guys seen Transformers summed up in a single word?
No.
No.
You should look that up because it's fucking hilarious. It's just like all the Transformers summed up in just one word, and it's amazingly funny. Not like just one word, like one word for each Transformer.
Okay. Let us say, how's that going to be funny? But okay.
But
yeah, I think that does it for this rant. I think we've discussed quality control. I think.
We've always segued back.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll do it for this rant. I'd like to thank my guest stars, Pyrostrata.
Thanks, guys.
And Thundercracker.
My nipples are really itchy right now.
Okay. Is that a quality control issue with your shirt or with your nipple?
No, it's the dryness in the air, I think.
I don't know what you want, Thundercracker.
I just thought that'd be an interesting sign off.
Okay. Well, at least yours aren't big enough to mount your shield in a Gestalt form. So
there you go.
all right, signing off.
All right.